So my name is Kit Moore. I am a graduate assistant working at Stevens Art and Design Center. I got my undergrad in graphic design, but right now I'm pursuing a master's in education, but I'm doing a lot of elective art classes, which I really love. I've been doing art since ever since I was a little kid. I mean, it's kind of hard to define when, but as a kid, I was always like scribbling and cutting things out of paper. I'd love to illustrate children's books or graphic novels, but right now I think I'm leaning more towards sculpture. I took a sculpture class last semester, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So right now, what I'm trying to finish up is a giant jackrabbit. This semester, I didn't really have a set emphasis or focus on what I wanted to do with my art, but for some reason, I just kept finding animal folklore and animal stories to be really interesting. So I've been trying to lean into that. Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit. I loved how he was just so kind of tricky and was always messing with the farmer and had his whole family of rabbits. And I just loved rabbits growing up. So I think this Jackrabbit is just kind of a combination of different animal stories I loved growing up. I wanted to give him a bit of a personality, so he's wearing a collar, and his name is Rex, which is kind of a not rabbity name, but I liked that kind of balance with maybe an animal you wouldn't think is kind of scary, but has a scary sounding name. I don't know. It was just fun to experiment with. And right now I'm glazing it. It's gotten through all of the drawing process and the first kiln firing, and it has survived. It could still break. A lot can go wrong between here and the finished product. You never know what you're gonna get, so it's always nerve-wracking to put up the kiln because I truly don't know if it has exploded or if it's melted completely or if it looks beautiful. Like, it could be anything in between those three things. So the subject matter for a lot of my artwork, honestly, it just kind of comes from, I think, experiences I've had, or I'll see something and it'll just click in my mind. You're like, oh, I have to make this. Like the other day, I just saw a couple things, and in my mind, it clicked together. It's like, I need to make a cat and a mouse riding on a motorcycle. Like, I don't know where it comes from, but just these things come to me, and I like to jot them down in notebooks or sketch them out. But then whenever it needs to be made, I can just feel it. I don't know how else to describe it. It needs to be made. A lot of my work, it comes from a really personal place, which I don't think I usually advertise quite as much. But a lot of my pieces relate to memories I've had or people that I know, and like a little bit of that goes into it. And so it might be a sculpture of something else completely, but it could remind me of something I did in my childhood or remind me of a friend I have. So that's kind of that invisible link to me, where I could put art in a show or I could put it in a gallery, but I like having a little hidden meaning that is only for me, that is like my tie to that artwork, even if it gets bought or taken somewhere else, that it'll always be special to me. There's been multiple times in my life where I've had a feeling or something was going on, and the only way I knew how to express it was through art. And it's kind of a vulnerable thing to do, which was difficult for me at first to kind of be vulnerable, but I think that's when the best artwork is actually made, is when an artist is able to kind of give something of themselves to somebody else or to the viewer.